Clementine laughs, scribbles in her notes. Tell me then, why do you still show up? Red flags and roses, you say it always closes. Every story, same old end, but I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis, but you're here, we got the week, so I'll keep betting on hearts that beat. Clears his throat, says love's a trap. Patterns repeat, they just collapse. She hits pause on his favorite line. Then why'd you stay till her last goodbye? Red flags and roses, you say it always closes. Every story, same old end, but I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis, but you're here, we got the week, so I'll keep betting on hearts that beat. People don't change, that's just the deal. Or maybe they do, but it scares you to feel. Happy is rare, it never lasts long. But here we are singing the same old song. Red flags and roses, you say it always closes. Every story, same old end, but I still believe in beginnings. Red flags and roses, you call it all hypnosis, but you're here, we got the week. Guess you're still hoping for something sweet. 12-hour screen fading slow. Caesar says goodnight in a softer tone. Clementine smiles, see you next time. Somewhere between us, a little hope climbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for Red Flags and Roses with little old me, Caesar. Don't don't worry. We got the Clementine here. My
Hello,
partner in the new detective agency. Say hello to the audience, Clementine.
hello, everybody. Thank you, Caesar, for giving me permission to speak. Jesus, way
Oh,
to
you're
hog.
welcome. I am, ain't I? I'm a lovely hog. For all the times you've always talked over
To
over the
hog the
years.
intro.
That's how I do it.
Why don't you tell everyone what we're going to be talking about today?
Well, tonight, actually, I don't know where you're at right now, buddy, old pal of mine, but it's tonight. We're going to be talking about the first date, the do's and don'ts, the things to look out for on those dates. From my toxic masculinity perspective, and don't forget, we remembered you ladies out there. That's what Clementine's here for. With the toxic femininity, be able to get both sides just
Caesar,
head to
you are
head.
the only thing toxic. But yes, tonight we're going to talk about, we already talked about making the date, first impressions, other red flags to look out for. But tonight we're going to be talking about things that can happen between making the date and going on the date that you may not even be aware of. Things that I've been hearing about lately, on social media that people have been going through. Every decade, there's new problems and new things. We're going to get into the ones that a lot of women and some men too are facing today. And we're also going to be talking about quick escapes, some good getaways, some little white lies to get out of those awkward dates, giving you guys ideas and
hmm
such.
Yeah, exactly. Because that happened to either one of us. It's for men and women. You need to get out. You need a backup plan. You got to think. What would Batman do? Prep time. That's why you need to have these scenarios planned out to where if you need to, you know, get out of the date, we got you covered.
And as Caesar has been, stood up and a lot of women have left him, sitting at the table with the check. So we get to hear from the dumped person's perspective as well, see how they feel on the other end, what they wish would have happened, things like that.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. I almost forgot about that little part, Clementine. That's right. You're such a great co-host. I'm
Exactly.
gonna toots.
All right, so I will be gracious enough, to let you begin.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Buddy, old pal of mine. Thank you so much for the courtesy. Since I am, the host of the show. I'm not the
Mm,
co-host here. No, I'm the host. I'm actually Gorilla Monsoon in this position, and you, my dear friend, you're Bobby the Brain Heenan.
sure, bud. Sure, bud.
Nope, that's how it is. Nope, I'm JR. You're Jerry the King Lawler. That's how it works in this scenario. But I digress. I get distracted easily. The first date, you're already there. Got the agreement, meeting at this place. Gonna have some fine dining, exotic cuisine. You're gonna get some kind of munchies going on. But even in that time of where you just stuff in your face, there are signs you want to look out for, ladies and gentlemen. Good signs, bad signs, even signs that are just might be mind blowing. But I guess you can say the way I would like to start this out with the red flag. You know, this should be considered a major red flag. When you're on a date, you got your prospective mate just sitting there across from you, all worried about the phone, not worried about communicating with you, getting to know you, revealing things about themselves, actually having a human conversation. You want to be hooked up on this, seeing what's going on the twatter, the insta scam. You ever notice that on your dates?
No, it's not as much as I feel like when I'm on a date, you want to get to know the other person. If the other person is on their phone throughout the whole date, yeah, they don't want to get to know you. They do not care about your time. You may as well leave. If people are on their best behaviors on a first date, they're not that into you, or you should like they're not ready. They're just not ready to be in a relationship. They're just no. Cut your losses and get out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. One of the few times we do agree on things. It's like they're hooked up on this phone. Gotta go. They're not going to have any respect for you. They're not going to have any respect for your time. If anything, they're going to waste your time. You don't want to be, the jabroni in the room where it's like you and the lady just sitting there exchanging messages in the same room. That's crazy to me. It's like holy shit, just open your mouth. If you're that worried about what people are, gonna hear come out of it, like learn a different language. Pick up some Danish. Maybe some Russian, Portuguese, something. So on that first date, Clementine, you know,
Mhm.
let's give you a scenario. You're on that first date. What would you consider some other ways to conduct yourself? Like to put your best foot forward to get that, let's go out again. What do women really want when it comes
Well,
to that?
I'm glad you asked. What women really want? What women really want is someone who's just excited to get to know us, someone who actually wants to listen. And I feel like what women value, especially first and foremost, is honesty. So, for instance, if you met on an app, if you have a profile, if you just want sex, if that's it, then put that. And girls who also just want sex will answer. However, if you go into it, with these false pretenses just to lure them in, and then you're upset because they came based on what you put out there, and now they're not giving you what you like wanted sort of subliminally, that's a problem. So honesty and just being honest about what you want from the jump is very important.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Back that up, Toots. You're telling me that I can be upfront with a woman about just, wanting to knock some boots? No strings attached?
Yes.
Like that exists?
Yes, it does exist. Crazy, right? I know back in your day, you
It
guys had
is.
to really, you know, travel far and wide to find anybody
Yeah.
that'd be willing to sleep with you. I mean, sleep with anybody.
Hmm.
Sorry. These days,
Ooh, I caught that, Clementine. Mm.
I'm glad you did. But these days, it's simple. If you're honest about what you want, odds are you will find somebody that's willing to pick up what you're putting down. Start off with honesty, start off on the right foot. Be open to getting to know someone. Be open to talking to people. It's hard these days. It is. Meeting someone in real life is hard. Because honestly, the world right now is lacking third spaces. You know what third spaces are?
It sounds like some kind of new confounded hippie speak.
It's the term. I don't think the term is new. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone in the chat, or don't, because I don't like to be corrected. Third space is sort of a
See?
term for people to meet up that doesn't like cost money, where you won't be, you know, accosted for like loitering. Like someplace people can just come and be and just sit. 'Cause honestly, things are expensive. Movies are expensive. Concerts really expensive. Anything like if you want to go to sit at a McDonald's, even then you gets to a point where they're like, buy something or get out. You know, maybe at a park. The park is nice, but people aren't often at parks, and sometimes it gets hot. Maybe a library. A library is a good example of a possible third space because you can just go and sit and read and talk quietly, albeit, but there's no real space for people to come and sit without it being seen as loitering or you have to buy something or get out. People can
Yeah, people
just
need a space
sit.
to be able to meet, you know?
Exactly.
They need a place to be able to meet and, come to a mutual agreement about, the more adult activities.
It is. It's why people are always, starting relationships with their coworkers. It's why kids date in schools or things like that. It's sort of the forced proximity. It definitely drums things up. But and then once you get out of school, it's so hard when you're out of school to meet people. Um Gamers is correcting me in the chat right now. A third space is a social environment distinct from home, first space, and work, second space, where people gather, relax, and connect. Thank you so much, Mr. Havoc, but I told you not to correct me.
He
Very
wasn't correcting you. He
disobedient of
was
you.
he was reinforcing what you were saying.
I know, I know. I know, it's
Damn,
fine.
you, man, your toxic femininity is really on display tonight.
Oh, see, he admits it. He was correcting. He never
Well, that
trust a
was
man.
to me. That's what I was hearing.
Sure,
Like
sure.
may not be the exact words, but I was picking up what you're putting down. It was a free space, where people can go and intermingle, or just be
Definitely.
alone or sit out there under the tree.
Of course. And
But I
honestly,
noticed some other things, host and co-host,
oh
strange way
boy.
to any to say into that I word, committed relationship.
Intimate. See, guys, these are struggles
Hmm.
because he can't read. So you don't have to read the chat. I'll
I
read
am
it
not
for you.
whipped. I am not whipped.
Oh, you're
Mm.
miracle whipped.
Excuse, excuse me. You're telling me
Yeah.
I am miracle whipped? Mm.
Oh yeah.
That is a very bizarre observation that you have.
Thank you.
No,
Stop putting
you're
me on a
welcome.
stop putting me on a tangent. What I was saying was, yes, third spaces. It's also so hard. Um, for me, like once you've graduated like high school, and maybe if you go to college or you don't, if you don't go to college, it is so hard. You realize how hard it is to actually like make relationships with people, like just making friends because you're in school for years. Like it's forced proximity. You make friends with those who are there because you're there for hours and hours at a time for like 12 years, for months on end. And then it's the same people often. If you don't move to the same, same 1,000, 2,000 students in the school for forever, and then you're out. And then it's like, well, if I don't have to be around these people, then I don't think I want to talk to them. And then that's when you really know who your friends are or really know who you're actually attracted to. If you don't have to be around them, when it's
I
hard,
think
then
you
you
really went
realize
on a
it.
tangent there,
I
young
did.
lady.
I
You
did,
went
but
far left field.
that
Like
actually leads
holy shit.
me to a future
I went over the
episode.
green monster wall. No, no, you definitely did,
Actually,
lay down the groundwork for a future episode. But we gotta stay focused on hand here, Toots.
no,
You
no,
know?
no.
No, let me I gotta reel you back in since I'm the gorilla monsoon
I can
of this
reel
operation.
myself in. Do you see it?
I'm
You see
I'm
how he
doing it
talks
for
over
you.
me, audience? You see how he
No,
talks over me?
I don't
I was
talk
getting
over
back
you.
down to
I
earth.
talk with you. I'm right there
Oh,
next to you, buddy.
I hope not.
You should hope so. Hope not.
I live in a very
Yeah.
nice neighborhood. They wouldn't allow you in here.
Yes, they would. They'd be lucky to have me, take a stroll through the neighborhood.
Sure,
Like
sure. But
waving at the neighbors, like, "Hi, how
anyways,
you doing?" I'm this, lovely lady's, best friend, buddy, old pal. We do a show together. I'm the host, not co-host, host.
oh, so then I don't need
You're
to
the
be here.
you're the co-host.
So
No, you have to be here because you're the co-host.
I should just be
I'm
out.
the host. You're the co-host. No, you need to be here. We
Oh,
need to
so
get
you
back
need
on track.
me. Yeah.
I do. I do.
Mr.
I
Havoc
do. I
says,
do need to have you here.
Mr. Havoc, miracle whipped definition. So badly whipped that it's surprising that the man could be found without laying in the fetal position, drooling on themselves. That's actually how Caesar is most of the time, but I hired a nurse, so he's good now. But let's not embarrass Caesar because we have to talk about our topics at
That's
hand.
propaganda. That's pure propaganda. This guy over here hiding a relationship, putting thinking he can get away with all the subtle clues he was trying to
Okay.
put out there with
Mm.
the artist formerly known as Diamonds.
Oh,
I know who
jeez.
she is. I know who she is.
Enough exposing
You
Mr.
know.
Havoc. Goodness.
Well, no, he had a ring on his finger, and it's like, what would he do on his first date? You know what I mean? Well, I wonder what that first date was like
Well,
for
I know
them.
his palms were sweaty and he just couldn't even get a word out. She decided where everything went. She said, "You're
Mm,
mine now." And she married him. She took charge. Alpha female, if you will. I can definitely see that. Mr.
damn.
Havoc seems very submissive, He
Mm,
seems very, like he needs to be taken care of in
damn.
that way. I like that for him. He's a little guy, how his feet dangle in his chair, you know?
Now that is purely speculation. That
Mhm.
it's unfounded because the photographic evidence and video evidence, says otherwise. But yeah, that's purely speculation.
Look at the
That's a
chat right now.
Clementine
He's saying,
theory.
really? I think if he were here right now, you know what he'd be saying? Uppies!
That you're full of shit.
Nah, he'd be making grabby hands at the
Yeah.
camera. All right,
Mm.
enough talking about how small Mr. Havoc is or how miracle whipped you
Yeah, get
are.
back. You
We need
gotta
to
you
talk
gotta
about
get
the
back on
topic at
track.
hand.
You
Okay,
gotta get
so
back on track, Clementine.
starting
About the
off,
first date.
starting off, a first date. We talked about a little bit about some red flags, but before
Yeah,
that, we
somebody
should
that's on
talk
their phone all the time.
all their phone all the time. But also, even before that, you guys, there's a special little sweet spot. an important spot that's in between making the date and actually going on the date. Very important. Recently, there was a video of a girl talking about, actually multiple women talking about this too. If talking to a guy and you guys are talking, flirting, the banter's there, keeping up, and then you agree on a date. Let's go on a date. It's Wednesday today. Let's say next Wednesday, and then silence. And you may be thinking, so in some people's minds, if you set the date and for next Wednesday, you're good. Next Wednesday has not passed yet. Like you're not planning on standing her up. But why do some guys, feel like it's okay to sort of stay silent in between now and then? What happened with all the banter before? You know what I mean? It's
Well,
very
maybe some guys get busy. Maybe the fella, had an emergency.
oh, here you go, devil's
Maybe
advocate.
he's busy. Maybe he was busy with work. He has a very demanding job or multiple jobs. That guy might be working two or three.
Okay,
Busy,
here we go.
busy.
Devil's advocate. Listen, it takes 9 seconds, not 10 seconds, 9 seconds max to say, "Hey, how are you today? I'm gonna be working a lot, so I'm gonna be like super busy, but I'll call you later if I can. And if I can't, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and good night." It doesn't take long to just let someone know that you're gonna be busy, especially if it's an entire week, Wednesday to Wednesday. That's an entire week, or even less than that. Let's say you planned it tomorrow. It's important to check in on these things. And if you're gone completely silent, how is she to know that you're not gonna ghost her the day of? If you're not speaking to her from Wednesday to Wednesday, why would she go through all the trouble of getting ready, getting her hair done, getting her nails done, shaving everything, doing her makeup, buying a new dress, maybe even some sexy lingerie for who
Well,
knows what
well,
may happen after,
that's a
and if you're
woman's
not gonna go
problem.
in?
Going out buying a new dress when she probably has like
Oh,
50
please.
old
You should
ones in
be
the closet
honored.
that she can be wearing.
You should be
We
honored that you even
men don't
wasted
make women do that. And if they would keep up with the maintenance,
Oh,
that wouldn't be a problem.
please.
If they're willing to shave every day instead of once a month until like something fancy comes along, and then it's like they gotta get the works done, get everything looking fancy. Yeah, no, that's on the lady right there. If you would have just kept up with the maintenance, you wouldn't have a problem.
Now why on earth what would you know about shaving? We've seen you in the pool. Like a seal. It's like a seal. It's like a golden retriever. What would you know about shaving? What would you know about keeping up maintenance? I'm sure you use 3-in-1 body wash, and that's not a compliment. What would
Well,
you know about
first
the
of all,
maintenance of a
you you
woman?
know, uh, shaving is shaving. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know, what it takes to shave. At one point,
Mhm.
I didn't have the beard. I had to shave my face, and that's why I just decided, to shave the stash off. It's different, and I'm still shaving something, so I can understand a little bit, and it's not that hard. Just shave every day, boom, bam, or invest in some hair laser removal. Women have a plethora of options. You got the waxing, laser hair removal, old-fashioned, razors. Hell, I even hear that there are, products that you can just, rub on and it removes the hair. Imagine that.
Oh, Mr. Havoc, we are two halves of the same coin. I had the exact same thought. Speaking of maintenance, since it's such not a big deal, maybe Caesar would like to maybe test that theory with some waxing?
I actually owe some nose and ear waxing. for losing the challenge. So that's
Nose
going
and
to be
ear.
happening. Yeah, I got to get them waxed.
I know you're a
My nose
tougher
and
man
ears.
than that. Maybe we can do a little leg waxing? It'll make you more aerodynamic.
Wax, wax my legs.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no, no. I'm supposed to be hairy. I'm a man. I'm supposed to have hair on my body.
I mean, that beard is hair enough for the rest of your body. Maybe then you'll understand how hard it is, the pain us women go through to make ourselves look nice for men and their impossible standards only to possibly be stood up. That's why it's important to check
Impossible
in.
standards that women set on themselves.
Sure,
Hmm.
sure.
No, it's true, true. It's true, true. That's exactly what it is.
But I don't understand why it's so hard not to just check in, just say, "Hey, good morning," and just talk about what your day may look like, or talk at night, or
Maybe
send a
they're
message. If a man
maybe
wanted
they're
to, he
they're
would. It
they're
doesn't take a
busy.
lot. Sure,
Maybe
sure.
he's trying to think up the perfect, lines to say during the date. Maybe he's trying to, find, the perfect outfit. Because guys like to, dress up nice too. It's not just the women. Some men like to get fancy, get dapper, look fresh. So maybe he's picking out his outfit. You know, yeah, giggle now over there, giggle now. That could be true. You want to be doubtful, acting like it's always the women that are putting in all the work. Like, no, it's your fault that you don't keep up with shaving. Women that don't shave, that shows a sign of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not laziness, forgetfulness. You know, you want to get forgetful and just let it just all grow out instead of keeping up with it.
If that's what you're into, then fine.
Oh, that's
But
not what
it's
I'm
not
into, but
universal.
it's like what you say. That women got to do all this stuff to get ready for a date, and it's like, well, if they were doing it daily, then it wouldn't be a hassle. And women don't have to go out and buy a new dress for every date. It's like, what is it, like a memento piece? Like,
Maybe she
like you
just
go
wants
back
to
through your closet and you're able to pick out, like, all your 50 first dates
whatever. Maybe she just wants to look
based off the
nice for
outfit.
you. How about that? Maybe she just wants to look nice for you. God forbid
Well,
a woman try to put in some effort for a guy who may or may not even be kind or pay attention to her or even have the decency to check in before the date. Goodness.
that's why the woman, has some standard and, keep the, dressing fancy when the guy, communicates.
What you know about communication? My goodness.
Oh, I see what you put in the chat.
What
Mm,
did I put in the chat?
gross, behave yourself. This is a family channel. It's not a family
It is a
channel.
family channel.
It is not a family channel. That is false advertisement. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to correct my co-host here for, that this is the Asylum Network, where, you know, we take fun beyond the realm of reason a lot of times. But we
Sure,
direct,
bud.
but see, that's the thing, with the first dates. There's a lot of guessing, a lot of assuming. But let's assume, that the date is actually going well. You know, what are some roses for you that are a sign that the date is going well?
Good sign is that whenever we're having a conversation, sometimes it's hard to like try to get to know one another without it seeming like a whole ping pong battle with just asking, "What's your favorite color?" "Mine's pink." "What's yours?" "Oh, it's green. I like this." And then it's going back and forth without having to come up with really new questions. Part of a good way to see if like a date is going well, the communication is there, is sort of you can find yourself starting with one thing and blossoming into other aspects of one another's life, different things. Them actually it showing that they actually really do want to get to know more and more about you. It shows that they want to continue to know more about you. They want to, you know about your life, get into it, things
Get
like that.
into it.
Get into it. They
Hmm.
want to get into your life. They want to, you know, make their stake in it. That's a good thing. What about you? What's a green flag for you? A red rose.
I guess you could say what would be a red rose for me when the date's going well, I guess is when the conversation is intriguing, indulging. Like it's like what you're talking about, how a lot of times it could be ping pong, just fucking exactly what you said. One person asks a question and then it's just a repeated question, just turned around, No real thought, just generic talk. Versus when you're able to dive deeper and not just, you know, questions about the other person, but the other person's beliefs, their understanding of something, their opinion. It can get deep. And for me, that's a green flag when a woman can, make me think deep. Oh, you got the giggles over there again?
I do,
Hmm.
I do.
You've been having those
Uh,
lately.
Thanks. It's because of all the alcohol. So I was thinking, what are like, say the date's going poorly. How do you maybe try to get out of it? And then after you answer this question, I have an idea for a little
Mm.
game that we'll play. Perhaps.
Mm. You know, I got some great contingency plans for this.
Mm-hmm.
Even you ladies will be
Oh
able to,
God.
rearrange it to where it might even help you. This is a unisex class for the guys and the gals out there. You know, it requires some planning. Either you're gonna have to have a sibling that can help, or a best friend. So basically, somebody that you can trust that will call you at a specific time. Because in this day of age, you really don't want to stand somebody up, just not show up. But also, those times where the date within the first half hour is like, oh, like I need to get out of here. So that's when you have it set for you tell your buddy, just call me in a half hour. Call me at this time. Like if the date's at 8 o'clock, tell your buddy to call you at 8:30. Now, if everything's going good, your buddy just pick up and tell you things. You know, no, everything's good over here, and you just hang up the phone. Right? Things are going bad. This is when you can have your Oscar moment. You can be like, oh, oh my God, oh my God, is my mom all right? I'm
Once
sorry.
again.
There's something wrong with my mom. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I must go. It's like you can either throw some money down for the bill, or if like nothing came out yet, you can just leave.
For
this week.
sure. That seemed believable. That was very good
It
acting on your
does.
part.
But you can have different scenarios, like your dog, ate ate a plant. Your mom's in the hospital. Your dad went
Mm.
skydiving and the parachute didn't open. There's a plethora of episodes that you can use.
Plethora.
Plethora. Yeah.
Plethora.
You can even, it's like if you're feeling, kind of like wanting to be a smartass, you can just pretend to be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's my mistress, and she said I can't go out with you. That I should up my standards and leave." But that's if you want to be a smartass. But yeah, always have somebody call you within a half hour after your date in case you need to get out. Another thing, something that I've learned is, it, this requires a place where you got to scope it out first. Preferably you want to, go to a place that has a window in the bathroom. Make sure you can fit through it. Because if things go bad, you can always say that you got to go to the bathroom. And it might, for the vertically challenged women out there, since women do go to the bathroom in herds, you have, people there to help, boost you through the window. Us fellas, we just, just hop right out. Like we're Larry Bird, about the slam dunk getting through the net. But yeah, the vertically challenged women out there should scope out the place. Always go there or go to places that have windows in their bathrooms. Now, if you're really cool with the people there, sometimes you might be able to slip out through the kitchen. But that's if you know the people or able to bribe them into letting that be your escape route. But there's options out there, ladies and gentlemen, and don't be afraid to think outside the box. Sometimes the wackiest ideas that just sound crazy in the head, and they even sound crazier when you write them down. But I promise you, once you put them into practice, you're going to pass them on to the next generation. What about you? Do you have any go-to exit plans?
Any go-to exit plans? Let's see. I have one good one, but this one only really works if you have allergies. If you have peanut allergy, maybe sprinkle a little bit of peanuts in your food, and then decide whether to take a bite of that, and then that'll be a good exit. But results may vary.
Mm. Yeah,
Um,
that's that seems like some very dangerous advice right there, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe don't put that into practice. You're putting yourself in jeopardy. And we
mm,
here at the asylum, we care about our wonderful viewers and just people that might just stop by. We care about the people. So
boring. Go
that
big
is
or go home.
Clementine.
Go big
No,
or go
no, with
home.
that right there, yeah, definitely going big. Mm. That is wild right there, Toots. What is the next one?
Okay. This one's a better one. Probably, the most honest approach I'd say is just saying, I'm really glad I got to either it was really interesting getting to know you. Sometimes you're not glad you got to know. It's really interesting getting to know you. However, I'm not feeling like this is going well, and I'd simply like to leave. I'll take care of my half. Have a good night. Or if you really want to get in, tell them why it's not going well. If you want to be constructive, say, it's really interesting getting to know you, but I just don't feel like this is going well. Um, I'll take care of my half and please have a good night. Just drop the cash and dip. And then maybe if you'd like to text them after, that's the most honest approach, I'd say. If you want to be direct, but if you want to be schemy, you know, uh, so you gotta go to the bathroom and leave. That's the iconic one. You don't have to jump out of the window, but wait till they're looking down or something and then just skedaddle out the front if you must. It's a simple fix.
Ooh, bathrooms with windows in them definitely makes the escape plan easier.
Mhm.
Because what you suggested, I think I refined that plan. You actually don't have to jeopardize yourself with, your allergies. You can just pretend. Use the power of your imagination, ladies.
Yes, but it's
And you
important to
can always
commit.
pretend. I understand it's important to commit, but sometimes there are some things that you shouldn't do that will jeopardize your health. So that's why it's best in this scenario to pretend. And it could be the second chance at that Oscar nomination.
Gotten so boring in your old age, Grandpa.
Well, I guess you can say as we get older, life becomes more precious, and taking those risks just don't seem worth it. Now, if you told me that when I was 20 years old, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, that's golden right there."
All
I'm
right.
putting that in my back pocket. I have
So,
another one.
okay,
I
go.
have another one. A good way to be able to get out of the date is actually, calling beforehand. Like if you just ain't feeling it, like you rather, just like hang out at home, maybe, get some marathon in, RoboCop DLC. Just text her and be like, something came up. I'd rather game than go out with you. Take the honest approach. Now, will you get a call back? I highly doubt it, but at least you were honest. Yeah, being honest.
What do you
You wouldn't
think?
appreciate that.
Oh, obviously, I appreciate honesty, but also I'd want to know why because I feel it. Maybe it's a. I wouldn't say it's a girl thing. I feel like sometimes as humans we do crave closure, and understanding, and even if we don't agree, knowing why definitely helps in the
That's a
future.
woman thing, for
No, I don't think
sure.
it's a woman thing because some guys like to know like why too, but I feel like for I don't I try not to generalize because sometimes it may be true or not true, but for me personally, I'd wanna know why so I could sort of sit with that and ask myself if I agree or disagree. Because something I can agree with, like, okay, accountability, I do that, and maybe I can work on it in the future, but if it's something that, like, "That's fucking stupid, that's not my fault, that's a him thing," then I can be like, "You know what? I'm not gonna cry over this. You're actually dumb, and I'm glad you left." You know? Like, it
Hmm,
gives you a chance to take accountability, study yourself from someone else's perspective.
that's a pretty bizarre take right there.
Here we go
It
ahead.
really is when you think about it. Instead of just taking it for what it is, like maybe maybe he came across something shiny. He found a nice rock. He got caught up in Jumanji. This closure stuff, like, this sounds like too much. Like it's like women are very sentimental creatures.
True, true.
It's like they're not in touch with themselves. That might be the problem. Women need closure because they're not in touch with themselves. Men, we're in touch with ourselves. We know. That's why we just do the things we do. Yeah. I like that explanation, don't you, Clementine? It makes sense. It really solves those age old questions.
It's all connected, man, it's all connected.
It is. It really is. I'm glad you're able to see that, Clementine. See, that's why we're able to get
Uh-huh.
well so long.
Sure,
You're able to see
sure.
the things that I see.
Sure, sure.
Hmm.
But continuing, so imagine, let's say we're on a date, gag. Um
Whoa, 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 whoa. Fuck, rewind that really quick. 'Cause I think
Mhm.
we got to edit something out. Did you just say if me and you were on a date, gag?
I did. I needed to preface that.
You'd be lucky to be on a date with yours truly. You'd be lucky. You should be counting your stars.
Okay.
I'll let you know. I will let you know, young lady. I am a rich woman's fantasy and a poor woman's dream. I am Mr. LLC.
Okay, sure. Um, I feel like you definitely just need a woman with a good with a smoker's cough. I feel like that's your type of woman. Don't put all poor woman in one box.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I need a woman with a smoker's cough. Hmm.
We all know which one I'm talking about, don't we, class?
Oh no. Mm-mm. That woman shall not be named.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Maybe a um maybe a drug dealer type woman, the legal kind. You know what I mean?
That'd be interesting. You know, that would be interesting.
You
I'm kind of
know.
digging that idea. Mm. Gamers no. To quote, your illustrious queen, Queen Dana, your A number one, you gal Friday. Don't do it, gamers. Don't do it, gamers.
Anyways, everybody, there's a lot of threats happening in the chat
Wait a
right
minute. Whoa,
now.
you put Rockstar?
I did.
Mm, mm.
We were supposed keep your eyes off the chat. I needed to ask a question. So say me and you are on a date, gag. Um and Okay, sorry. So we're on this date and we're sort of talking a bit and getting to know each other. What's something, let's say, something subtle that I could drop that would make you sort of it would like, send a chill down your spine, you're sort of like, "Oh man, you're like, I gotta go, I gotta get out of here." What could I what could I say? What could I say? Would be something fun. Like, what's something little and fun? You can do me. Think of one to say to me that you think would send a chill down my spine if I were to say it.
Okay, so what you're asking me is that what I think what you would say to make me just like want to back out of this date.
Either or, basically something that is particular to us. Like as me as we know each other pretty well. Something in
Hmm.
particular to you or to me that either one of us could say, something that would like you and something that would. Yeah, but just like an immediate deal breaker, like immediate, like no talking about it. Like, please, someone bring me the check. I got to get out of here. For me, what I would say to you, I would say, I've always, dreamed about being a mother to children. And, I just need a partner that can be, 100% dedicated to me and our time. Someone who's mature, someone who's ready to let all the childish things go. That's what I need, you know? And you said that you lived alone in a nice home, you have a lot of rooms we could fill with, children. So, that's That's something I would say, because even looking at behind you now, I see you have rooms, but you do not plan on filling them with children. In fact, you only plan on filling them with your dolls. I feel
Excuse
like
me? No, they are Lego minifigures. And
yes,
yes,
yes.
you telling me that would scare the ever living shit out of me.
I know. You guys,
Like
Caesar.
another thing that would scare the shit out of me is you know we're at the dinner table. We didn't even order yet. Waitress just brought us our water. Took what beverage that the order for our beverage. Brought us the water. What would scare me is if you just brought out floor plans about how you want to redecorate everything.
Yeah.
That would terrify me beyond belief. It'd be like,
Well, you do.
how did she
You
get the
need
plan?
redecoration. You need up to date. Those curtains are dusty. That's why your lungs are bad. Aside
My
from all
lungs are
the
fine, thank you.
inhalation. Okay.
Mm. Don't okay me. I swear, Clementine. Mm. Oh, I can hear you typing away. You're gonna type with this smart ass in the chat right now. Gamers over there are already trying to say we're trying to make little cesareans.
Cesarean, C-section. So yeah, for me, if you were to like also another like little subsection to this game, like, do you know what an ick is? Either
Yeah,
what an
it's
ick
like a
is? It's like a small
something that just drives you crazy.
that it's more so just a small tick, a small pet peeve that someone else does that you look at it, you're like, ugh. It can be a very small thing, like the way someone walks, the way they
Yeah, like if they always pick their nose. If they always scratching their beard.
like picking a nose is commonly gross, but scratching it
That's
like a way
cool.
it's like the way you
It's an
do
actual
things.
pick and flick adventure.
Like if we were at the dinner table and you ask, hey waiter, can I just get a cup of ice? And like, oh, you brought your own drink, and then you pull out a can of Ghost Energy. Ick.
Well, I wouldn't do that on the date. Like, no, no. I'll, probably be having a Mountain Dew.
Oh, I love Mountain
Maybe,
Dew.
maybe spike it with a little Red Bull.
Oh. Oh, see, that's I then I would think you are like next thing you know, you're gonna be pulling the bath salts out of your pocket.
Well, what if I brought
What
enough to share?
well,
Sharing is caring.
I mean that depends on how the rest of the day goes, you know? Maybe you'll need the energy. Maybe you'll need the stamina, depending on if the day goes well.
Exactly. Exactly. Because there are strange times when the date does go well. And when we
Against
come
all
back to our
odds.
2 minute, yeah, against all blah, 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 blah. Let me try that again. Against all odds, sometimes the date does go well. We're shit's popping, and we will get with that, back to that after this short 2 minute break. So stay tuned, stay locked in.
Hearts a rusted chain locked tight in the abyss. Souls a shattered mirror, every shot screams miss. Concrete veins pumping cold through the mist. Breath tastes of tombstones, death blows a kiss. Every corner's dark, no candles, just black. Hopes a ghost I chase, now it's laughing in the back. Fingers grip the void, pulling nothing but cracks. World's a painted smile, I'm the smear in the tracks. Dead inside, can't hide, I'm hollow. Screaming at the sun, but the light won't follow. No escape, just a shadow to swallow. Dead inside, just a ghost on borrowed tomorrows. Eyes burn red, sockets dry as drought. Tears drained for the ink, but the pen ran out. Face a broken bridge, can't walk that route. Prayers turn to echo, silence drowns the shout. Every night's a battle with the weight of the pitch. Dreams sold for pennies, nightmares getting rich. Minds are crooked breaches, spitting venom in the ditch. Hearts a frozen clock, no tick, no twitch. Dead inside, can't hide, I'm hollow. Screaming at the sun, but the light won't follow. No escape, just a shadow to swallow. Dead inside, just a ghost on borrowed tomorrows. Dead inside, can't hide, I'm hollow.
%57 of people are right. They can just see it. They can see the awesomeness that's, perspiring off of it.
Hey, Caesar, I see something that I gave you in the background there.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you got me that right there.
I did.
My spirit animal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And something funny is that
What's that?
right now I'm looking at your birthday present for your upcoming birthday in a couple months.
Crazy.
I already have your gift planned out. How about that?
Mm. I just realized that. Welcome back, ladies and
My
gentlemen.
God! I'm eating my Cheerios. Do you mind?
It's okay. You can munch down for a moment.
Mm.
The host will handle things from here. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking through that 2-minute break. But yeah, there are times where dates do go well, where the date goes to that uncharted territory. We're able to actually park the car in her garage.
Maybe. If you so decide to, for the sake of fun conversation, the date went well, and luckily for everyone involved, X is on the table. These
Mm-hmm.
days, sometimes it's safer for, all involved to meet at the restaurant. So if we're hopping in an Uber per se, whose house are we going to? His house or her house? Usually, for men, let's say, or even for women, it can be safer either or, because maybe you don't want to wake up in the morning and have a whole spooning session. Maybe you want to get out and do the walk of shame home. Whose house are we going to? Whose house are we doing this at?
Well,
What
I
are your
believe it's
thoughts?
customary when the person taking them to their home, that it's customary to arrange the Uber for the one to leave. If you don't want any of
True,
that cuddle
true.
time, the spooning, I believe is what it's called. You don't want any of that, over clingy activity. Then I believe it's up to the
Mhm.
host
Before Uber,
to
how did they do this in the
arrange.
70s?
Well, the way they would do that in the '70s is generally. Now, this is just stuff that I've picked up on through past media,
Mhm.
but generally, one of them would just walk home. That's generally what happened. If
Mm,
they didn't have their vehicle at the ready, they just walked it.
that's unfortunate.
That's the thing. Well, good exercise. It's really good exercise. For the next time, that offer comes a knocking.
Right, right.
Keeps you ready to go. Just some other people. Hello, Queen Dana. Thanks for joining us. Dawn, notice you in the chat. You know,
Let's see. I feel like, because I've heard that for a guy who, let's say, doesn't want too much, he'll go to her house, so he has the option of leaving rather than her going to his house and her overstaying her welcome. These days, women are more sexually liberated. They can also just want sex and not want all that comes with it. Maybe they want to do it at his house so that she has the option of leaving, or for safety reasons, because I mean, men and women can't be crazy. They can both be crazy. But maybe a woman doesn't want him coming to her house because she doesn't want him knowing where she lives, or she wants to go to his house, or doesn't want to go to his house because who knows what's happening there. So realistically, whoever doesn't have roommates, whoever, has the space to host, whoever lives closest maybe is ideal for those kinds of things.
well, I believe that's where a hotel room really comes into play. Because you bring up a
Hmm.
good point. We don't know if we're going to bring home crazy, and we don't want crazy knowing where we live. So maybe it's the first time knocking boots with the broad. My personal favorite, and other fellas do it, is they just get a hotel room. They don't bring her back to the house. That remains, on a need to know basis. And I believe that's good for both parties involved.
I agree. I mean, a little. Um,
A little. Well, why? What's that little bit that disagrees?
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, it
Um,
sounds like you want to take the controversial approach in saying that a woman should be able to dictate, which one it is, whether it's the home or the hotel.
I mean, honestly, she should be able to dictate. Personally, a
Well, why? Mm,
hotel feels a little bit, escorty. It feels a little bit like, I mean, but if you want to play for a hotel to do the do, I mean, that's your business. But it just feels a little escorty, but it can be the safer option of the two. So if it's on the table, why not?
well, I
Um,
don't see why a woman should what's the word I'm looking for? Should be able to use her you know wacky feelings to impose such a thing. Because what if the guy just wants to go on the rides a few times? You know, she shouldn't be able to know where he lives.
if that's the case, then go to a
That's what
hotel
I'm
or go
saying.
to.
Go taking it to a hotel, and
But the
women
thing
shouldn't
is,
feel
but the thing
escorted.
is about
They
all of
shouldn't feel because
this.
it can work both ways. Women can take their Mister Crazy to the hotel to where he won't
Mm,
know where she lives because let's face it, doesn't matter you know if you got a clamshell or fucking linguine sausage between your legs. Fucking when you
ew.
got crazy coming to your house, that's bad either way.
Horrible terminology you've used. I'm so sorry to the viewers that had to hear that.
It
Um,
was informative and educational.
what would you
The
shut
viewers
up?
deserve to know. Excuse. Whoa, whoa, whoa! You, you calm down. I'm the
Oh, I'm
host.
calm. I'm very calm and composed.
Oh
But
yeah, you just so calm, cool, and collected. You told me to shut up, and you don't tell me to shut up. I tell you to be quiet. I tell you
I'm just
respectfully.
I'm just speaking for the audience who is also wanting you to shut up. No, it's just the most important thing about this is, and say it with me, everyone, consent. So if he wants to go over to her place, if she rather go over to his place, neither one of them want the other one at their places, because as much as they do want to sleep with each other, it's just not cool. It's just not, feasible. And a hotel is the best option. Whatever you guys can both agree on is what should happen. Neither one should dictate. I'm just going off, you know, sort of like history, like, not, I wouldn't say history, like tradition, usually the norm, what usually happens, what usually would happen is, the guy would drop off the girl home. He'd walk her to her door, maybe they'd kiss, and it all comes down to if she invites him in, and then he says yes, then bada bing, bada boom. That's what happens. But we're just going through different scenarios,
Well,
Oh, look
let's
at his
say the
face.
woman
Here he
does
goes, everyone. Here he goes.
decide to
Go
have
ahead.
the man, go to her house, okay? What? Or I should say, when he's dropping her off at her home, they're at the doorstep. What are some things that would creak that door open? What are some things that want to make a woman say, "Do you want to come in for a cup of coffee? Do you want a slice of pie with that coffee?"
um what I guess it's just the vibe of the date, are they a gentleman? Will they, just little things like that. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Maybe she just wants to get laid. Sometimes it all comes down to that.
So you're telling me that it's all touchy feely, because I believe, for us men to be able to, comfortably bring a woman back to our residence, that shows a level of trust, a level of trust to where
Same.
we know that where I live, that you can respect boundaries, and
Yeah.
not to take over. You know what I mean? Like, just because I let you, come here to do to do to do the deed, doesn't mean you can just start moving your stuff in. Like, we're not there yet. Just knowing it's like, we're coming back here, to have that fun time. What did Borat used to say? The sexy time. And here you do that. Yeah, sexy time. No, I'm seeing what you guys are putting in the chat. Clementine. Clementine.
Yes.
I do not need that woman. You are wrong. You're mistaken. And quite honestly, I'm concerned, because now there's two people. Well, no, that makes three. You, Queen Dana, and gamers, all conspiring against me,
Yes. Because you're a
trying to,
rambunctious,
slander my
wild
good
man who
name.
needs love. Hey, chat, sound off. Doesn't Caesar need love? Doesn't he need a strong woman to guide him? He's just we worry about you, Caesar. What do you think this entire show is for? We're trying to slowly. It's all a disguised intervention for you, a love intervention. We're all trying to guide you to a better place. You know?
I just noticed what Queen Dana put in there, saying, could it be you, Clem? Not even trying to get us to date. We're just buddy old pals. You know, we've been hounding each other for years. Ever since we met. Ever since we met. Day in, day out.
Sure.
What do you mean,
Your
sure?
mother pays me. Did you know?
That's a crazy insinuation. Saying that my mother pays you.
500 a week.
That is wild. That money can be going toward damn Legos.
You don't need any more Legos. You need a woman. You need someone lying next to you in the cemetery. Someone who can hold your hand in your coffin. We're gonna get you guys double wide. Very nice.
Oh, really? Really? So now I'm gonna be put in a box with somebody, you know, with what you imply as, you know, the woman of my dreams. Together? I think there's laws against that. Yeah, they're going crazy in the chat. You know, can we get it
Good.
right?
Hmm.
Well, they're trying to say that there needs to be a possible move. You know, like one of us should move closer to the other.
Possibly. You would. Listen. You would do great in Florida. You would do great. You have the look down. Look at you. That beard, that face, like
I'm used to this.
it screams Florida man.
I am not a Florida man.
Why
You will not catch me, you know, on the news being recorded doing something a Floridian would do.
Yes, huh? You are so Florida man, and you
No.
know, yeah.
No. You ain't catching me wrestling in no gator. Ay. Now they're cheering. Queen Dana's just cheering it on. That's just so wonderful.
Good.
Tell me I should make the move so, my wing woman Clementine, help me find, my Duchess.
Florida man found flailing in pool in his backyard. Florida man masquerading as homeless. Florida man walking through the streets with an obnoxious Christmas sign in a bad Grinch costume. But all that. Or I can see the headlines now. But sorry everybody. We go off on tangents often when Caesar says something ludicrous. But when we're coming to or me
saying ludicrous stuff. Yeah. Don't forget you. Don't forget you. It's a two-person process.
I do. So basically, if you guys don't want to, do at each other's houses, then maybe get a hotel. And it's all about agreeing, especially when it comes to something as messy, sex. It's important to be on the same page at all times.
Which is a perk of the hotel because you can just do the deed and leave.
Exactly.
You got maids that, are able to clean up the mess. Get rid of the evidence. No better place to lose, a pair of woman's panties than in a hotel room. But then again, that might be bad advice because it could call you saying you left something behind. Your wife pick up the phone because the fucking credit card you used. Oh no, I'm thinking of a whole other scenario of cheating. That's on the date. Never mind. Yeah, I went off on a tangent myself. Yeah, an Airbnb. That's like, getting fancy with it, in my opinion. to me as a guy, like if I'm getting an Airbnb, like I'm already gonna be with the woman for at least pushing 2 years for me to want to invest on getting an Airbnb. Like a
Airbnb.
first, like a date, first date. No, I'm going to Motel 6. Something cheap. Regular fumigation, but cheap. This is the first time. And I know there's sharks, over here in the oceans, Queen Dana. I do. And I got the best advice ever. You're about to get attacked by a shark, you just punch it in the face. Right there at the end of the nose. Pop. The boom, the bam, and the pow all at once. Punch it right in the nose. Well, it's not
So
that I'm too cheap.
I
It's that I have it where, if I'm going to be dropping that kind of money, it's going to be with a woman that I've been with for a while. Not just a, one and done. That's what they got Motel 6 for. Part of the reason why they keep the light on for you. So if you're inebriated, you'll be able to see what you're taking back, because you'd be like, whoa, I seen you in the light, honey, and, I kind of changed my mind.
we've gotten to, when it comes
So
to,
if I was,
oh my
if
God,
I
go
was
ahead.
to
You
tell
have
you,
talks over
if
me,
I was,
chat.
I know it's payback. You can always talk over me. I'm taking advantage. But no, like if this was our, we're on a first date, everything's going fine, and I suggested, taking you to a hotel. Would you, as a woman, be offended by that, or would you feel like challenged to, get to know me more to where I'm comfortable to take you to my home and trust you to not mess with my Legos?
Me? Uh, okay, you can trust me for sure. I wouldn't mess with them, but I definitely touch them and make uh plain sounds. I definitely make two Legos kiss.
Oh, I'm sure you would. I'm sure you would. That's why I would be getting a hotel, because, you'd be over there, wanting to actually play with my Legos instead of taking time to just sit back and admire the scene. Let your imagination, do the work of them. That you want to pick them up and actually play with them. That's why you
Right,
think they're
of
dolls.
course. Well, they are dolls. They are action figures. Nothing wrong with that.
They're not dolls. Thought I taught you better than that, Clementine. All these years, when I thought you were listening to me, you're just, probably off, you probably hit a recording of you saying, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't say. That's exactly what you did, didn't you? And you just put the phone down and let me talk to your recording while you're off doing whatever it was you're doing.
Actually, my laptop died, and I was only gone for a second. Cry me a river.
You weren't gone for a second. There's a whole 5
I
minutes.
was. I was gone for a second, and I popped right back in.
You were gone for a whole 5 minutes. You talking about just
There you
now?
go.
Well,
Everyone,
I
you
was
see
talking
how
about
he
another time.
behaves? See how he behaves?
Yeah, that's why, we've been friends for so long. Because she likes my behavior.
Whatever.
Oh,
Um.
really? Whatever.
So,
Did you see the
we-
question that gamers asked you in the chat? Did you see
I
the
did
men of King
not.
Kong? Yeah, I will send you pictures. after the stream. Because,
Sure.
Dr. Princess Divine, when she's seen it, she gave me a suggestion like, oh, you need to put King Kong up there. And I figured I can't not only do that, but I can top it. I can make it more dynamic and exciting by putting Venom up there.
Also, who said that? Dana, I would never hurt Caesar. He's impossible to hurt. He's made of steel. That's why I have to attack him psychologically and not physically, Ah,
Yeah,
period.
that's what she does. She's always doing that psychological warfare. Dismantling all that propaganda. Yeah, that's what she does. Always mucking with me. Trying to imply that I'm old.
Well, you are old. You're prehistoric.
I am not prehistoric. But
I mean that in the best way.
Oh, I know. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My buddy Opal over there acknowledging how old I am. Since we got sidetracked, we need to get back on track. But see,
I'm
that's
on
a running
track.
theme here at the Asylum. It's always full circle. We get back to the point where we're going. And it's, what we were talking about before.
Exactly. No, I was trying to get back on track, but then you kept jibber jabbering about whatever it is you talk about. So we've decided that we're going to the hotel in our, scenario of the couple or whatever. We're going to the hotel. We've agreed. And we are a family channel, so we're not going to get into what happens at the hotel, but I feel like we should maybe pivot to some, other topics we've been meaning to talk about, like, sex in general. The stigma as well about, the first date, putting out on the first date, or whether or not sex is even on the table until like marriage, and what dating without sex looks like. Like, what does all that look like for everybody?
Dating without sex seems like it would make both people involved actually more focused on not just learning about the other person, but actually asking themselves the tough questions. Do they want to be with this person?
Mm-hmm.
So, that that's kind of important right there.
Why, yes, it is.
You gonna clip this conversation?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh no, my buddy old pal gamer. He's going to maybe check in the chat. He's going to clip up the conversation to make it sound like I don't know. I'm a little worried because he gets quite imaginative with the power of AI. Like I don't know what that guy's doing. But I don't know.
I'm scared of what the
Sex
clip.
before marriage. That's a little. Not to me. It doesn't seem like it's practiced as much.
To answer Dana's question, I feel like it's a fun little question to answer out loud instead of just in the chat. She says, in a long distance relation situation, tell me how I would keep things spicy. Well, definitely, I feel like absence does make the heart grow fonder. So while, the regular advice would be to, oh, you guys can, send dirty texts or whatever, or, tell them about all the things you're going to do when you get your hands on them or things like that. I feel like the dirty talk is definitely good to keep things spicy. And but I feel like just like savoring all that until like the visits are very good. Cause then it just after a while, even like pictures gets old too, you know? So it's
Hmm.
like definitely it's important to set aside time for one another when it's a long distance relationship, you know, because it's like people who work demanding jobs, at least they get to see each other when they come home. Even if they're not often home at the same time, eventually they will, or they can take lunches together. When it's long distance, it's like really important to make the time, you know?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like the spicy aspects, definitely to use the term loosely, it's almost like a reunification edging kind of just like really, you know, building up to the good moments, building them up and not, you know, just, you know, getting old. You know what I mean? Building it up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's aids that can help out with that spiciness for the people that are, with the long distance. They have aids for that. One that, you know, I learned about, talking to another woman before, was having vibrating panties that somebody can control with
Oh,
an app. So yeah,
that's
I was, able to, just sit there and tap away on the screen, like, be like, I remember it was like, I was doing an X, and like she was able to like know that's what I was, putting on the screen.
I don't like this conversation.
And they have something for the fellows too. It's a
Mm,
similar thing, but it's like, maybe like a fleshlight.
like those pills that you take?
No, no, I don't take any pills. Thank you very much.
Yes, you
Always
do.
assume I don't. I only took
Yes,
medication one
huh?
time. One time, and I'm not even on that anymore.
Those pills that you take to help you get just kidding. Sorry, class.
Mm. Trying to insinuate things. Ooh, Clementine. Mm. Buddy old pal over there just giving people, cannon fodder just to throw at me. Oh,
Well,
well, what? Best friend.
I'm just, anyways, nothing. I don't want to trigger you. Yeah, so sex, putting out on the first date. Like I said, with everything, consent is key. If you're agreeing on it, there's nothing wrong with it. Do not let the society dictate what you do with your own body when you're two consenting adults, you know? It's just important to be safe, be protected, keep your weapon on you should you need it, things like that. Um, and even not having sex, do not let anyone shame you for that. It's being in a relationship without sex is really maybe this is a controversial take, but it's really not as hard as a lot of people make it seem. If sex is that important to you, then definitely yes, take that into consideration, but do that before even going on a date with the person. If sex is really important to you, like get to know people on the first date. There are subtle ways of gauging these things. And for people who have a hard time picking up on social cues, perhaps that could be hard, but these are the conversations that you should be having in like the early stages of dating. Like people, date and they jump into marriage without having any of the hard conversations. So please definitely take this time before feelings have grown too much to understand a person and what they expect from dating, whether it be sex or not sex at all.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I guess for me and some other fellows out there, just putting out on the first date's kind of weird, you know? But you have a point when you said it's all about, what the people are looking for. Yeah, there's men and women that are just looking for, a fast ride and a cheap thrill. But I believe it's important to, to build those things up, you know? Hello there, Dr. Princess Divine. Thank you for joining us. Notice you popped in the chat. Yeah, this is Red Flags and Roses. Me and my co-host, Clementine.
Okay, now he wants to.
We take
Now he
on
wants to be
we
a.
take
Now he
on
wants
the
to be a co-host.
no. I'm the host. You're the co-host.
Sure, bud. Sure, bud. Sure, bud.
No. But yeah, me and my buddy old pal Clementine, my co-host, take on the controversial things. The red flags and the roses of life. Dating, marriage. Right now we're in the dating phase. Talking about, how to really manage your options. Like what we're talking
Uh-huh.
about with where to go. You go back to your place, you go to, his or hers. Do you go to a third party and get a hotel room? And I see
Yes.
that there's a poll already. I hope my Caesarians out there vote for Caesar.
Cesareans.
Yeah,
I hate that.
yeah, they're my Caesarians. They give me the
I
power,
hate that. Why not
the
just make them
power.
your citizens? Why not just why is it cesarean? Because it just reminds me of like a C-section. Call them your citizens. Your CZ citizens.
But they're my Caesarians.
They're your C-sections. Whatever. You do what you want. Ugh.
Hmm.
Ugh. Ugh. It's so hard working with him, everybody.
Oh no,
Oh,
it's not. I remember you telling me the other day it was a breath of fresh air. It was like you're up in the mountains.
those
Up in the
words never
Alpine
came out of
mountains.
my those words never
Yes, they
came out
did.
of my mouth. You are not
I
a
heard
breath
it
of fresh
specifically.
air. Your morning breath. Uh,
Ooh. Mm. You see how she treats me, ladies and gentlemen? I swear, I feel
it's
like every time I talk to her, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield. No,
it's
we stop.
the truth. It's the truth. Um,
Hmm.
So, yes. Sorry, everybody. See what he does. But these are some topics that we've been meaning to talk about because, we've talked about the meetings, the first dates, now we've gone home and now sex is on the tape. Now, sex is a topic, Now, this is where we
Hmm.
start really thinking about sex. And like I said, dating without sex is really not as hard as a lot of people think it is, especially if you actually like the person or if you have a reason. If you like just don't want sex at all, or if you're waiting for marriage, or two relatively different conversations. Also, even going deeper, like what is sex? Is it just, penetrative sexual intercourse, or is it everything that goes along with it? Things like that. What do you think, Caesar? Yeah, I know you have, little to no knowledge of it being a virgin and all, but what do you think as someone who does not partake?
Someone who does partake, as much as your, crazy little fan fiction about yours truly being some, geriatric old man. You probably think of me like the old man from Up. I got a little
Yeah.
walker and I'm cranky. But I digress. There's, because there's fellas that are looking for different things. Depending on where they're at in life. Generally when you're younger, you got wide field of options. So you might want to, dip your toes in the different pool. You know, get a feel for the waters. But then when you get older, people want like a commitment. They don't want to be like, rented bowling shoes, just any old foot shoved inside them. They want one foot shoved inside them.
You need to keep your kinks to yourself, man. Talking
It's not a
about
kink.
feet and
It's
such.
just my, colorful way of explaining.
You're
That's
sounding a
what I
lot
do.
like Mr. Havoc now.
Oh
Uh,
no. But communication really is the key.
I agree. I
Being
agree.
being open and honest. Because there's nothing wrong. Like if you
Hmm.
just want to get your rocks off, you should be able to find a consensual partner, somebody who agrees to the terms and conditions of the ride. It can get pretty gruesome out there,
It can.
but
It can.
that's
It
the
can get
crazy
gruesome
thing.
and messy.
We make it
One of the
so personal sometimes. Reminds me of
They,
Boomhauser when
exactly.
he fell in love with that lady.
One of the things that I feel like are messy when it comes to like dating and sex is like people take people's like history. History, like their past relationships or decisions they made before they even met, the person they're currently dating, things like that, like body count, for instance. And chat, I don't know. Chat, you can also please put your opinions in down there. I'll go first, then you can go, Caesar, about your opinion on this because everyone has their differing opinions. Like body count. Body count is like, I don't know if it's a new age thing, but it's like it's now it's a thing now. And body count means how many people have you slept with, whether or not it includes actual penetrative sexual intercourse or things that go along with it. Me personally, I do not think body count matters as long as you are clean and free or at least know about any STDs you may have. If you have one, that you've gotten it cleared or you're taking care of it, as long as that's underway or you don't have like a million kids running around that I don't know about, kind of thing. Like there's no reason why that should matter. Like if I don't have kids and I'm clean of anything, it truly shouldn't matter. What I did before I even met you, before I even knew you, does not matter. And then that goes deeper into the double standards of male versus female, or like so on and so forth of why it matters. What do you think, Caesar? What's your opinion on that?
Well,
And it better be
I
right.
guess I guess you can say when it comes to the body count thing, I can see why it matters more. When it comes to women talking about that, because there's a lot of friction involved. Friction makes heat, and when a woman has a high body count, it can really make it start looking like some flapping roast beef down there, and guys get worried
Jesus.
because it's like you get kind of gaping. Then it's like what am I doing? It's like am I just gyrating my hips into nothingness, into a void,
Someone,
and then
someone
they
get
might
this.
fall in.
Dana,
It's
please
like
get the spray
do these
bottle.
women have the proper safety precautions, approved by OSHA to have guardrails installed so no unsuspecting guy falls in. Safety first, ladies, goes a long way.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. I'm the host. 71% of you
No,
have
too
have
too
good brain
too much
cells.
estrogen in there right now. Not all my cesareans are in the chat
Oh,
because
whatever,
I'm the host.
whatever. And
I'm the
like
host. You are the
what a
co-host.
woman's downstairs looks like has also not a lot to do with how many partners she's had because we're all built different, same as men. And so it's like it's not all going to look how you think it's going to look. First of all, explaining what a vagina or a penis, like what it should look like, based on health and health only, and not on the porn stars you've watched or the perfect human specimen, what theirs looks like. I just don't think it matters as long as you are, like I said, clean and you are, you know about any children, you may have. That's the only reason those things matter. It's just another way of devaluing women, I feel like, because no one is really batting an eye at like male body count in that way. So it's like it's another new thing that was created to slut shame women, I feel. And it
Well,
wouldn't, and
no,
also like,
because a man's body count, for whatever reason, is important to the woman because there's got to be some amount there to show experience, but too much, can be a negative for some women's out there. Mm-hmm. I hear women talk sometimes. And we got a few questions from the Dr. Princess Divine. When it
I
comes to
see.
dating, are you loving your special someone freely or defending yourself from something that already happened? Do you know how to receive love or only how to chase it? You want me to go first? Or you want me to take this one?
You go ahead and take this one. I
Okay.
answered a little bit about already, but go ahead.
You know, I guess you can say when it comes to, chasing that special someone, I guess you can say I would I would hope that I would know them enough to know that it's not I would have to defend myself from things that didn't happen because there's enough trust built up between us. Is that going to happen on the first date? No, that's something that just takes time to develop. And the crazy things, the older you get, the harder it is to do that with other people. Because let's face it, when we get older, our time grows shorter. So that's why for both men and women involved, the wackiness, some of the quirks, the deal breakers, that's why they exist. The people trying to cut out like what you asked, defending yourself from something that already happened or even hasn't even happened yet, happened with somebody else. Because some people throw the past stuff, use that as a crutch to defend their, to validate their point. Use that as an example. And then she has another one. If every relationship in your life is a mirror, what truth about yourself are they all trying to show you?
Um, like I was saying, it's I said earlier about sort of accountability, like knowing about yourself, and closure. That's why something like sometimes closure is important, like knowing why a relationship, even a normal one, knowing why it ends and why, just the reasons, like asking, and then, either taking an accountability for what you did wrong, but also understanding certain things that you do right, like understanding, like, why things happen in that way can be good things to like study and understand and to work on before you hop into a new relationship. So that's sort of what I think about it.
If I was, to look back at my past relationships, treat them like a mirror. The truth that I would say about me is multifaceted. Settling for less would be one of them. That would be one of them. I would look back at me in the mirror. Settling for less. then love at first sight, no, that's something different. Love at first sight is something different. That might be only a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of people. And cliche as it may sound, is when that happened with me, it was literally like a slowed down montage in a, rom-com, as they would say. She was really moving slow. That's how it was for me, with the love at first sight aspect. Like I said, that could only happen once because it never happened again. That's something really unique and special. Could happen on the first date, or hell, even if it's not a date, who the hell was it? I believe it was how Fox News personality Dana Perino met her husband on a flight. It just went that well. Bam. They immediately had to keep in touch, and it grew from there.
It happens.
Not impossible. Oh no, agreed. It happens, but it's not something that I don't want to say if it should or shouldn't be the norm, but I feel safe in saying that it shouldn't be expected. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be expected.
I wouldn't say, like I said, I wouldn't yuck anyone's yum if they wanted to believe in love at first sight, but don't go out looking for just that. Like, some love takes time to grow. Sometimes you go out intending to meet one person, and then you're like, oh, wait, and you see someone else, and you're just like, maybe that's the person you love. Sometimes it's like love at first sight is
Yeah,
nice.
and then you want to go stick your yuck in their yum.
That's
Yeah,
enough from
I
you.
get you. Oh, don't excuse me.
That's enough from
It's
you.
never enough from me.
That's enough
Maybe I
from
want
you.
to
You're
stick some.
You're, you're misbehaving. I'm gonna get the spray bottle for you.
You get the spray bottle for
You.
me. No, I get the
Yes.
spray bottle for you. Because I'm the one that's content with just, hanging out. You're the one that wants to, play interior decorate and just rearrange everything in my life. It's like you think you're the asteroid from Armageddon.
Ghosting. Miss Divine like wine says, if someone treated you exactly the way you treat others, emotionally, consistently, and perfectly, would I feel loved or would I feel neglected? Well, me personally, um, I feel loved for sure. For me, because the kind of person I want was like, someone uh who values their me time as much as I value my me time, coming together. Like, and it exists. There are some people who are, they don't need to be, all up under each other all the time. I find myself to be, I can take accountability for wrongdoings. I'm like, I don't like to hold grudges. I can admit my wrongdoings, like things like that. So I'd feel loved. I don't think I'd feel neglected. I'd feel understood. I'd feel, yeah, I think I'd be good. I don't know about you, Caesar. I feel like the way you love is, you know,
If someone treated
concerning.
me exactly the way you treat others emotionally, consistently, imperfectly, would you feel loved or would you feel neglected? Princess Dr. Divine always coming in with the tough questions. I would I would like to believe, you know, that the Duchess in my life, my A number one, that she wouldn't just feel the love, but she would know it. She would know that, Caesar loves you, baby. Exactly. Just like that. Oh, don't be sorry, Princess Dr. Divine. Don't be sorry.
It's okay.
Don't ever be
Yes,
sorry
please
for
don't be
your
sorry.
inquisitive
That's what we're
questions.
here
They're great.
for.
They're great. Wonderful questions. Yeah. Because with me, they feel loved. And then
Any
I
more questions?
believe, just natural. It's like, when there's love back and forth and, both of them together feel love, then it just balloons and just comes out because it's like, you get what you put back. It's like if you're in a relationship and, the person's closed up, they don't really talk, they're distant, that relationship won't last, because it's all one sided. It's the other person putting in the effort, trying to, keep the spark alive. So when they're feeling all that, distance, neglect, they're going to be stuck with, like that's all they have left, since that's all they've been receiving. It's important to have it, because it is a two-way street. You get back what you put in.
Will I do my own show? Dana asks. I think I'd like to, but once I get everything set up for myself here, what would it be about? You didn't ask that, Dana, but I'm just narrating for myself. What would it be about? It'd be about like maybe it'd be like a variety show, different things I'd talk about, or different places I'd go. I definitely would like it to be an open space for everyone. Um, sometimes it's hard if not prompted, because while I do have a good imagination and I do have a good way of letting my mind wander out loud, I don't think anyone wants to listen to just my ramblings, aside from Caesar. So yeah, I think I'd like to. Where I'll carry things, I don't know, but that will all be
I think
figured out, and
people
everyone will
love
know.
your rambling, because they're understand like, wow, I can see where she gets it from. Mm-hmm.
La 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 la
So
la.
are you gonna break out in the song for us? Is that how we're gonna end the show? Are you gonna
Sorry,
start
it
singing
could.
for us?
The Looney
La
Tunes,
la la
the
la
Looney
la la
Tunes
la la
theme.
la 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 la.
The
That's
Looney
what you're
Tunes theme is
doing.
a perfect
You're
place,
jamming
perfect
now.
way to end. Because I have other things to talk about. You
Like
know,
what?
but
What
well, not
what what
not
else
for
is on
not
that
for this.
little precious list for you?
Things that'll carry on for next time.
variety show. We're back. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We had a bit of an audio issue towards the end. But unfortunately, it's that time. It's that time, Clementine. It's time to say goodnight. So
It is.
as the co-host, let's hear. You gotta get a tagline like me.
Well,
the way you sign off.
I've got a question. I'm on with you. Okay.
Oh, hey! Welcome in.
Yeah.
Glad you made it.
Do you guys want to explain to me, since I'm being told that my girlfriend, Diamonds, is actually Queen Dana. So I've got my own theories. Why did it sound like a little lover spat earlier?
You're choppy.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
Mr.
repeat that.
Vic. At least these issues happened at like the end of the show, so that's good.
Okay, let me see if I can fix it here.
Yeah, and right now we can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay, so you got no sound now?
But no, I believe what he was going to be mentioning was, my magnificent sleuthing, my detective work, about discovering him and the artist formerly known as Diamond.
And the question was, why did earlier sound like a little lover spat?
I see the green around, but no sound.
Okay, hold on.
Me? Or
No,
Mr. Havoc?
For gamers. Yeah, Mr. Havoc.
Check 1, 2.
Him and the artist formerly.
I don't know why you can't hear me.
Me? Or Mr. Havoc?
For gamers. Yeah, Mr. Havoc. Check 1, 2.
Oh, now it says
the artist.
You're playing your replay.
Okay, no, I hear you now. I just remuted.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying is that since you're saying that Diamonds is actually Queen Dana, since you're sleuthing, I'm sleuthing, and I'm better at it. So yeah, I just want to know why it sounded like a little lover spat there earlier.
That was a spat between two friends having
two
fun.
friends, and that's all. Don't even, Mr. Havoc. Don't even. You're supposed to be above this.
Sounded funny to me.
That I sleuthed it out.
Mm-hmm.
So now he wants to try to say, me and you are the next, hot secret item in the asylum.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it's not been very.
I mean, it's not a secret. We do carry the entire asylum on our backs. It's not easy.
Clementine.
It's the truth. What do you want from me? Okay, I'm not a liar. It's hard, but we make do. We make do.
Yeah, we've known each other for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. 4 years.
That is the lore.
Mm-hmm. And all that time, we just become, closer friends.
I do want to point out that
closest friends.
We're partners.
Buddy, old pal, partners. Exactly.
I'm the one that's, digging for the clues. You're the one with the, mutant spider powers. And we combine our, talents to form a detective agency.
Can you hear me?
That's the lore
Can you hear me?
in my little Lego city.
Can you hear me, Caesar?
My little
I can hear you.
Probably so.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Mhm. You know, well, we'll see because it's 4 years, right?
Mhm.
2022. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, this is a relationship because earlier he told me it was 2.
Oh,
Earlier he told me
that's
it was
why.
2.
Well,
So,
I had a
just saying,
momentary lapse in my memory.
only happens in a relationship. Okay, it's you two. Bye
Whatever.
bye.
That's why. What's the name said 4 years? What a little shifter he is.
I know, but see, we have a friendship, and that's relationship adjacent.
He's so jealous. It's embarrassing.
Probably. Our friendship is strong. It's like strong kung
Strong,
fu.
full of life. He wouldn't know anything about that. He's only got enemies.
Mm. Yep, I do believe that is where we're gonna have to end it.
Oh.
But do you have a
Oh,
tagline?
sorry. I just looked at the
The
chat.
way you can end it.
Just looked at the chat. Yeah. Oh, 4 years. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana.
Yes, we have a
Appreciate
lovely,
you too,
loving
Toots.
friendship. Next time, I'll be sure to really embarrass Caesar by telling you guys some great milestones in our friendship. I'm sure the viewers will love that, especially ones in the chat right now.
So, do you have
Go
any
ahead, take us
parting
out.
words? Maybe you have a
Oh,
tagline you'd like to use as your outro.
have a good night, everybody. Please sleep tight. Don't wear socks because that's for psychos, and that's my tagline.
Don't wear socks, because they're for
Not to
psychos.
bed.
Interesting. That's unique, Clementine. Thank you for that. And, ladies and gentlemen, as the host, yours truly, Caesar, I thank you tonight for joining us for this rambunctious episode of Red Flags and Roses. It's been a wild ride. Always fun. You see my zany co-host. Always a wild ride for her. I can't wait to hear what she's going to tell me tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And after you hit that like and subscribe, join the Discord. You won't regret it. You won't know who you're going to see in the VC. Never know. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you when I look at you.
I still say that's the most stalkerish thing anyone can say to close out. Have a good night.
It's 12 a.m. and the screen glows blue. Caesar leans back, says hopes for fools. Clementine laughs, scribbles in her notes. Tell me then, why do you still show up? Red flags kind smile. See you next time. Somewhere between us, a little